We ready?
Mm-hmm.
We live?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep.
But you know nobody ever shows up in the beginning.
Nope.
It's not like you can just jump into it. It's not like this is the news. You're like, hey, it's Ryan Stewman here on the scene of this crime, and things are bad here, Patrick. Things are really bad. You know, we're going to have to say a prayer for the family. You know how it is. Like, you know, it's like instant feed, but we're not. It's like live, but it's like not like you have an audience yet. It's not like the TVs. Is anybody on there yet?
No, it's three.
Three people. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Welcome.
We got low energy Robert. We got Sarah. We got.
Hey, so we were in Costa Rica last weekend, and we were having a good time. We were sitting at this place. We were eating some pizza because that's like what they eat down there. And you thought pizza was Italian. Turns out it's Costa Rican. And so when we're sitting down at this place and we're eating some pizza, we see like on the screen, you know, in Las Vegas, they got those screens and they have like the pictures of all this crazy stuff like on the LED screens. Well, they had this over in Jaco where we were at in Costa Rica, and we look up and it's like the Migos, like Bad and Bougie video, right? It's like, I'm a Migos fan. I think this is cool music, you know? And so it's got Migos on the thing, and it says, and we see like there's like a little bar, and it's like cut off part of it. We see Migos Saturday night, and we're like, oh shit, Migos is coming to Costa Rica, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Migos gonna be here. So we get on the internet. We can't find it, right? But, you know, you're in a third world country, so you're not really sure how Ticketmaster or Live Nation works over there. So the next day we get up, do a little surfing. Saturday nights it's supposed to be Migos, and so we go online. We can't figure it out. We go into town, and we realize that when we see the thing past the bar, it wasn't Migos gonna be there. It was the Migos video, but it was saying Amigos welcome, right? Like we thought Migos was gonna be there, but they meant Migos. We just didn't see the A. So, hey, right? So shit happens. So, hey, I want to talk to you guys today about some sales stuff, right? I want to like get you a little bit going, give you a little laugh this morning first. I know some of y'all early risers need to get out of that funk that you got from the sales deals that you're worried about from the day before. But I'm gonna help you with objections. See, right now I'm doing some sales training for a friend of mine, Dustin Black. He owns a company, Black Tie Movers. If you're in real estate or mortgages, he did not pay me to say this, but you owe it to your people if they're in your marketplace to use them to move. And I've been helping his people with some sales training. And yesterday, this is how dedicated I am. Yesterday, I was trying to make it to the office to do the sales training virtually on time. And I couldn't do it because there was rain, there was an accident out on the freeway. And I only live 3 miles from the office, and I left like 45 minutes early. I couldn't get through the traffic, pulled over in the parking lot in the rain, and did the sales training from my phone right there, right? Thank God I keep all my stuff in Evernote. But one of the things I want to share with you is how to handle objections, because a lot of salespeople are scared of objections. And rightfully so, because they're handling them wrong. But let me talk to you a little bit about like subliminal, what the objection is. Like the human mind is so used to making stupid ass decisions that when a good decision is presented in front of a human being, oftentimes they're scared to take you up on that decision because they don't know what a good decision feels like. They're used to making bad decisions. Think about that for a second. Right? Like even us, sometimes like salespeople in our own patterns, we're used to making bad decisions. On Friday, we go out and we drink ourselves to death knowing we got to show back up on the sales floor Saturday, right? Just because we got a paycheck party and then we're like, why do I do this every Saturday? We make these same patterns and same bad decisions. If someone offered you sobriety, you wouldn't know how to take that good decision. I'm just giving you an example, but that's how most people are. They're so used to making bad decisions in their life. The average human makes so many bad decisions that they are, they're reluctant to make a good decision. And so, and what happens is a lot of salespeople, they take it personally, they let their ego get involved, and then they don't handle the objection, they just let the prospect walk away. But here's the thing, if they walk away, they still have the problem. You owe it to them to solve that problem. I'll help you out with that today. But let me tell you the story. So I got a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old, Jackson Asher, and they've been in karate for about 1.5 years now. And so they're at a point where they're like orange belts, and or maybe yellow belts. I'm not sure what color that is, right? But they're at a point now where they're like 3 belts up, and they go in and they spar, they break boards, and they fight each other, and they fight other kids in the class, and they're teaching them how to karate chop and how to punch and how to kick and all this stuff. And when they leave, you know, sometimes my kids are a little beat up. Sure, they got gloves and helmets and stuff on, but, you know, they've been kicked in the face before and had welts on their face, and they're beat up and everything else. And that's what karate is. It's a sport where you come in and you're punching people and you're hitting people and you learn how to take a punch and you punch somebody else, right? But at the end, when you fight somebody karate style, you both lose because you're both taking some blows, right? In most cases, sometimes you just like go in there and you just chop somebody up. It's like, chop your ass up, right? But that happens too. But for the most part, you're going to fight somebody in karate. You're going to take some hits. They're going to take some hits on you. You're going to take some hits on them. And even if you kick them or something, your leg's going to be sore. When you hit somebody, I don't know when the last time you hit somebody or a bag or something, your hands get sore too. And so like both of you leave the situation. Sure, one of you won, but you're both beaten up. Well, see, I grew up, I took aikido for 5 years. And in aikido, they don't teach you how to punch, they don't teach you how to kick, they teach you how to get the fuck out of people's way and use their own body weight. Like if you ever watch the Steven Seagal, he's kind of an example of aikido. It's Steven Seagal in the 80s and 90s, for those of you that are young, he was like a badass back then. And these days, I don't know, he's still doing his thing, you know, so you get older and your badassery fades, right? I know it's going to happen to me one day too, right? So it's just like part of getting old. It's like, it's hard to be like I'm a 75-year-old badass, but anyway, they're out there though. And so back to the story. So I took aikido, and what aikido is, if someone's running at you, trying to punch you, it teaches you just to get the hell out of their way, maybe grab their arm and escort them to the ground, but you're not there to hurt them, right? And usually what happens in my experience, somebody tries to hit me, I get out of the way, knock them to the ground or whatever, they turn back and they're like, this motherfucker knows some shit. Just gonna let it go, right? And that's like the whole point of it. It's not to both leave and take hits, and even though I kicked your ass, I might have a black eye, or even though you kicked my ass, you might have a black eye. Aikido's like, hey man, I don't want any, stop what you're doing, let me use your source of frustration against you to show you that you need to calm the hell down, right? And so the thing is, most salespeople, they go into objections and they fight in karate style, right? They try to beat up the prospect and break their nose and knock them out and try to get a 10 count on them and all this other shit. What happens is you and the prospect leave that situation the shit beat out of you, right? Sure, maybe you won the sale, or maybe the prospect won the sale and didn't close with you, but you got the shit beat out of both of you, and you both leave and you have to go lick your wounds. But with the aikido, you let them bring the heat, right? And you just use that heat against them to get out of the way and be like, dude, cool your jets, man. There's no sense for your source of frustration here. It's just a sales conversation, right? And so I'm going to show you the difference between karate versus aikido. Now, when my kids get a little bit older, I'm going to put them in aikido too, so they're going to be like MMA guys. They're going to mix it up, right? So, but here's the thing. Salespeople, stop playing karate with your people. Here's what you've got to do. First, you got to do a little bit of homework. I'm going to teach you something that I call plants, okay? Not plants like the herb. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about plants, like you plant your feet, some shit that's embedded, some embedded codes, some planted codes. And so the first thing you got to do is you got to do your homework. You need to come up with 5 objections that you hear all the time, right? I mean, it might be too expensive, need to talk to my partner, the rate's too high if you're in mortgages, or can you reduce your commission fee if you're in real estate? Like whatever those, you know, because I'm not doing your job, right? I sell something probably different than you. But you know, every day you get the same objections over and over again, right? Like this person's going to give you one, this personality type shows up, gives you another. You need to list your top 5 objections. Then once you've got your top 5 objections listed, it's too expensive, need to talk to my spouse, but like don't use general objections like I'm giving you. I'm just trying to load your mind a little bit to where you can think. What I want you to do is write down the specific objections that you get from your clients in your industry on your job, because if not, it won't do you any damn good. Right? So make sure you don't just use some vague stuff like I'm saying, but I want you to start thinking in that direction. Like I can't afford it today, I'm just shopping around, need to get 2 others, whatever the case, right? So we're going to take these 5 things. And so what we're going to do is we're going to plant them into our sales pitch. Okay, so we're going to bring the objection up and handle it before they can tell us. That's that aikido. We're going to bring it up and get out of their way and move that objection out of our way before they can even think to come at you with the fist and try to fight karate style. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these 5, let's see here, the old handy marker here. It's too expensive. Will it work for me? Shopping. Spouse. Need to talk to my spouse and don't have enough time. Let's just say that those are our quick objections. Those are objections that you know you're going to get. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to plant these objections into your sales pitch. So you do your homework, you write these down, it's too expensive, and your answer might be quality. We'll explain in a second. Will this work for me? The answer might be story. I'll show you. Shopping around. The story might be internet. We can shop around on the internet right now. Need to talk to my spouse. Let's get her on the phone. I don't have enough time. I'll bring it to you, right? Okay, so we have these objections, and then we have quick rebuttals. I'm trying to save you time here, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm not drawing all this out. And quick rebuttals here, right? So what we've got to do is we've got to plant this objection and this rebuttal into our story. Here's how you do that. There's elements of social proof. So in our catch training system, which is our sales system that we use over at Hardcore Closer, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry. Our sales process is called catch over at hardcorecloser.com. And the first part of that, what we do is when people reach out to us, I'm going to kind of give our secret away here. Pat, don't get mad at me. But when people reach out to us, what we do is we say, hey Pat, what's going on? What part of the country are you from? Pat's going to say, I'm from Dallas, Texas. Then immediately I'm going to say, oh, that's awesome. I have 3 clients in Dallas right now that do the same job that you do that are getting the results that you want. So I might tell to Pat, hey, there's 3 other internet marketers right now in Dallas that we're working with that have $1 million funnels. You see, and so what I've done is before they can ask, will it work for me? Does it work for people in my area? Do you have clients in my area that you've done it for? I've answered all those objections up front, first 30 seconds into a call in what seems like a casual conversation. Y'all see what I'm saying here? I've weaved this will it work for me? Hell yeah, it works for you. It's worked for people just like you in your geographic area. And I've done that in the first 30 seconds of the call organically. So the customer's not like, are you trying to close me already? But subliminally in the back of their mind, they've heard this shit works for people like me in this area. Let me get some thumbs up if y'all dig that, right? If y'all see how easy that is. You don't have to be complicated. It needs to be casual, because when you sound like a salespeople, they want to fight karate style. Right? Everybody always want to kick Steven Seagal's ass. They could never catch him. That was the thing. You move out of the way, break your arm, move you to the side. That's the thing. Then he never left with Brit Diddy Pat. He never left with a black eye. You never see Steven Seagal with a bloody nose and stuff like that. Nobody could touch him. You just spin around this way, that way, and you walk out of there, close the whole place down, right? Bar fight and all. The next thing is you want to weave testimonies in. So we talked about some people that have done that. So as you're going through your sales pitch, you're listening to their questions, and they may have an objection. You say, you know what? My friend Pat does the same thing that you do, and he was reluctant to sign up with us as well. But what happened with Pat was he kept working, he did the work, he put his funnel together, he ran his Facebook traffic, and little by little he scaled from $25 to $5 million by simply following our process. You can do the same thing. It's just a matter of if you want to or not. You just weave that story. Instead of talking about how awesome your product is or how awesome you are or how great your service is, you talk about someone that's got similar results to them, right? I always answer objections with questions. Somebody gives me some heat, I'm going to give them a question back because I want them to think of the answer on their own, right? Handle objections with questions. Then I'm going to tell a similar story, right? Which is, again, the example I just gave with Pat. But I can tell a similar story of reluctance. If they're scared to commit, if they say the price is too high, you might say, well, you know what? You're not the first person to tell me the price is too high. There was a guy over in Grapevine named John that bought our program, and he said it was the most expensive thing he's ever bought in his life, but he turned around and made $250,000 just 90 days later, so it turns out it was the cheapest thing that he's ever bought. And so I'm weaving this similar story because I'm showing empathy. It's like, I understand your situation. Matter of fact, I've dealt with your situation before, and there's 2 things that close sales: empathy and confidence. Everything else doesn't matter. If you understand their situation and you have the confidence that you're the solution, that's all it takes to close sales. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. And then the last thing is the success path. So you show them the path to success. Well, what's it going to be if you don't fix this problem? That's what I like to ask people. They say, well, I've been trying to fix this for 6 months. What's it going to be like if you don't fix this problem? How much longer are you going to go through this hell? Right? They give me an answer. They let them draw their conclusion. Hey, man, I've been in this for 6 months. This is hell, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take you to the 7 figures you're talking about so you can pay off your back taxes, you can pay off your child support debts, you can get out of your business partner situation or whatever it is that they're having the struggle that they need that to. I'm going to show them the success path in my pitch too. Again, I'm not going to say just give me the $30,000 or just pay the $5,000 or whatever the price is. I'm going to show them the path to success, and I'm going to ask them if that's what they want. And so listen, when people give you objections, it's nothing against you. It's not ego. It's them protecting their wallet, and it's them used to making bad decisions. But here's the thing. If you'll do your homework and you'll come up with your 5 to 10 top objections, you'll write down some rebuttals for them, and then script a pitch. Because here's what I know. The salespeople that make $500,000 a year or more, they have a process they follow, right? They don't just wing it. Right? They don't just wing it. They have a process they follow. And this is a simple way for you to create a script so that you can autonomously get on the phone and have a simple process to follow every time. The great thing about that is when you scale yourself from salesman to CEO, if you have a process like this, you can just turn it over to the next salesperson that you hire, train them on how exactly you've done it, because now all of a sudden you actually have a form and a process and a script and a mental checklist that you're going through every single time, which is what makes somebody a closer versus just a salesperson. So hey, if you dig this, share it with your sales team, your fellow salespeople, and all that other good stuff. Make sure you check out our blog post over at hardcorecloser.com. And lastly, if you're looking to get in a mastermind with like-minded people where they will help you with your pitch, they will talk to you about your industry, give you ideas, help you with your funnels, your Facebook ads, your Instagram ads, your social media marketing, like everything that you can imagine when it comes to full-on sales, marketing, and advertising your business, go to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. Later, Facebook.